Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we are back with one of my favorite events in Conan Exiles, and that is the Sacred Hunt. So, this event allows players to challenge the champions of the Lord of Beasts, Jabal Sag, and prove themselves worthy as champions in their own right. So, Jabal Sag is my favorite god in the game, so I'm all about this. It is good fun. So, I'm going to do a deep dive into this event. I'll go through the process of it on both maps. So, yeah, buckle in and let's get to it. The first thing I recommend doing is making sure you have a tavern built with a barkeep because you are going to have to speak with Sil the Wanderer and learn what he has
Until
there. So he's
respite
going to give you the recipe for the Grand
begins.
Champion lore and the Malodorous Grand Champion lore that you will have to craft later on. So make sure you do that. Next, if you're wanting to know the location for where to start the event, then you can do one of two things. You can look for a beam of light shooting up through the sky, or you can look for the area near the den where you speak with the were-hyena to start the Midnight Grove dungeon for Jabal Sog. Next, make sure you speak with Bloody Tongue of Jabal Sog. She will have a few options there. Make sure you click through all of them until on the right side you see that you have basically learned something. So you want to go through all three options. The bottom option will say you want to end the hunt. So if you don't want to participate at all, you don't have to. But if you do, then make sure you don't click that. If you accidentally click it, you can always come back and re-click it again. So just so you know. The master of the hunt is your merchant. So he is where you trade the gnarled fangs you get from the were-hyenas to purchase different recipes. You can purchase lures. You can also purchase the potion that we'll use later on as well. And you can get your own personal were-hyena pet. So he's pretty awesome. The altar is where you craft your grand champion lore and the malodorous lore. For now, we're going to wait until nighttime so we can find our little were-hyena. Now, the were-hyenas will not attack you unless you are at least level 20 in the game. Whelp hunters appear at levels 20 to 30, and they drop about 1 to 2 of the gnarled fangs. Fledgling hunters appear from levels 30 to 40 and drop about 1 to 3. Bloodied hunters appear from levels 40 to 50 and drop about 2 to 3. And then venerable hunters appear from levels 50 to 60 and drop about 2 to 4 gnarled fang. Once you kill the were-hyenas, they do drop a hunter's satchel, which will have a few odds and ends in it, but it'll also have a map leading you to the location to basically talk to the merchant, talk to the Bloody Tongue. Now we are going to fight our first champion. So we're going to go to the Black Hand area right here. We're going to make sure we have our tattoo Jabal Sog Hunter on with no other armor, completely naked. We're going to place the lure right there and we wait. And now we fight. I like to start with the rhino. To me, he's the easiest one, but it does not matter what order you actually fight them in. So just keep that in mind. They have a buttload of health and they will hurt. So if you try to fight them with full-on armor without the tattoo, you won't get very far. He does drop the brand of the rhino, which we will use later on. Next, we go to the panther. So the panther is located right here. You walk right up, same as the rhino, place the lure, and then you wait. Now this guy does give bleed, so just be cautious of that. Other than that, he's not too bad. It's just, a matter of hitting and rolling. And then you can get him taken care of pretty quickly. Once he is defeated, he does drop the brand of the panther, which we will also use later on. So hold on to that. Next, we will go to the Frozen North, up near the Temple of Frost. Right outside the gate, there is another little shrine. You put the lure in there, and we wait for the big fluffy mammoth. Now, this guy I do usually save for last just because he's a bit more tanky than the others, and he does hurt a little bit more. But with mammoths, they have tells for when they're about to do any of their moves. So you can kind of get a little hint that something's coming and you can have a chance to get out the way. It's not too bad, but he does drop the brand of the mammoth once he dies. So we're going to hold on to that as well. Now we go to the altar. We can craft a grand champion lore with the brands we have from each of the three animals along with a regular lore. So the Grand
You have
Champion
me
lore
ready
we
for
will
a hunt.
use to go fight the werebear. Before we fight the werebear, though, I do want to go back to the merchant and take a closer look at each of the recipes that he has there for sale. So these are the claws that you can get. And I'm not going to go through the stats of each of the weapons because I don't want to spoil too much if there are things you want to figure out for yourself as well. So if you do choose to purchase these recipes, you can take a look at the stats yourself with different crafters and things like that. The hammer was the second. These are the wall decals. So you have the rhino, the panther, the mammoth, and the were-hyena. And then we have the Jabal Sog clan emblem. You have the ancient Lemurian brazier, which is actually huge. And it's a really, really nice to look at. Then you have the Jabal Sog basin, the Jabal Sog statue, and the Jabal Sog throne, which are all also very cool to look at. One of my favorites, though, are the glowing mushrooms. They are adorable and they glow nicely at night. The best item, in my opinion, is the bestial regalia. So this gives you a plus 16 to agility. So anyone with agility builds, that is exactly something I would recommend. It is worth the 1,000 fangs it costs. Next, we go here in the Sahara straight to the castle because we need to find the ancient blood, which comes from the werewolf. So I do recommend going from the front gate right here. The door you need to blow into is right here at this tower. This is the one that we're going to be using either explosive arrows or the explosive jars. However you want to blow into it, you can blow into it. But because I run an agility build, all I have to do is double jump from the top up there, and I don't even have to worry about getting shot while I'm up above the gate. Now, you will have to fight when you're in here. So I go in full armor, ready to fight any of the guys that come at me before I get into the door. Once you are through the door, however, you may have one or two stragglers come and follow behind you that you'll have to kill, but for the most part, you don't have to worry about anyone else showing up down here. The explosions are my favorite part, so yes, obviously, we did a little bit of a slow-mo in there too. But here is the location for the lore. You're gonna go ahead and strip everything down, make sure you have your tattoo, and start poking the werewolf. He drops the ancient blood. So this is what we need for that Lotus. Or I'm going to have to stop saying that name because I can't get it right. For the lore that we need for the big bad werebear. So we're going to go ahead and take the potion. We're going to fight just the original werebear first before we go fighting the bigger boy, because the big one does take about 48 hours for that lore to basically, it says expire, but it's more like it just kind of, the timer goes up and then you can use it. So you have to wait 48 and get in-game hours for that. Now when you fight this guy, he has two different modes. So his first mode, it does hurt. You have to be careful and roll away. The second mode is a little more vicious, but it's not too bad. As long as you can keep rolling, keep avoiding his smacks, you'll be okay. Just keep poking the fluffy bum and be alright. Now, when he dies, he gives you quite a bit of fangs. Like, you can get above 50 in the fangs from him. You exit the same way you exit the Moonlight Grove. So there is something I wanted to show y'all. Some of you may know this already, and that's awesome if you do. But for those that this may help, you can use thralls to fight all of these champions with you. You can do the same thing with them like you do for yourself. Strip down all of their armor, go ahead and make them consume the tattoo. And they actually do a lot of damage. Obviously, it depends on the thralls you use. I just have a couple basic berserkers here. Nothing overly OP or anything like that. Just two berserkers. And I ran with them, and I let them do all the fighting. I didn't do any fighting, just to see how well they did. And y'all, if you want to speed farm these guys, this is the way to do it, in my opinion. Thralls make this pretty OP. And I only ran with two, as you can see. You know, you can use mods on PC and run with more if you really want. But to me, it's a little bit excessive. I'll stick with the two. But yeah, it's actually pretty awesome running with them. It's so much faster. So we've done all three of the basic champions right here. Now I'm going to run with them through the werewolf and see how they do. Now the werewolf does also give you bleed, so just to be careful of that as well. I know I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah, they treated him like it was nothing. So now it is time to use the big boy werebear lore, as I'm gonna call it. So we're letting our thralls help us fight this fluffy bum because his HP is a lot more than the standard werebear. Like, it's a lot. So it's gonna take a while to get through this fight. But you treat him the same as you would the other werebear. You just do a lot of tucking and rolling. But he does drop the corrupted savage horn. It does take another 48 hours for that to expire. It does turn into the horn you use to spawn your own personal werebear. So these are the starting stats for the werebear. These are the leveled up stats for the werebear. The perks are random, same with any other animal thrall you put out. There's the were-hyena leveled. So they can be pretty OP, especially that werebear. He is a tanky boy. So this is the Exile Land map. We are now going to move over to Siptah. So I'm going to make this one a little more brief since we kind of know the basics of what we're doing. So we're going to go over here to the tower area. You can also look for the beam of light in the sky, or you can get the map from a satchel that the were-hyenas drop at night. But you're going to do the same thing. You talk to the same two people. You have the same Jabal Sog altar that you craft the Grand Champion lore and the Big Bad Fluffy Boy lore for the werebear. You also have the were-hyenas at night. The only difference is going to be the location for the champions. So the first one we'll go to is the Elephant Graveyard, where you can find the mammoth. So pretty much right on target for the marker for the Elephant Graveyard. So if you go to right where that marker is, you'll see a chest on the ground, and then that'll kind of help you see the lore location where you can place it. Mammoth drops the same things, the brand of the mammoth. The next location is over here at the Heretic Haunt. You have to go to the front gate. You may have to fight a couple guys, but the lore is right there. Spawn in the rhino, same as before. He also drops the brand of the rhino as well. Then we go over to the dark kind of gray area. This is the area where the sand beasts are. And you can fight the panther. Take him out fairly quickly. We grab our brand of the panther. And then we move on to the werewolf. The werewolf is in the blood mine. So he's not inside the mine itself. He's more on the outside down here. You will have to fight a few guys. I was hearing some, but I couldn't find them. So I went ahead and just dropped the lure in. Spawned in our werewolf. And he decided he wanted to aggro on this other guy over here instead for whatever reason. So if you want to, you can go ahead and drop the lure and just let everyone fight everyone. Or you can kill the guys that are around and then spawn in the werewolf. Either way works. But there's the altar. You're going to craft all the bigger lures, same as before. When you go fight the werebear, either form of the werebear is the same Midnight Grove as the Exile Land as well. So we're going to go ahead and fight the big boy furball werebear. Real quick like over here in Siptah. Take him out. And this is pretty much all there is to the Siptah side that's different than the Exile map. For the most part, everything is the same with this event. So yeah, this event started on the 29th of October. It will run through the 13th of November. I highly recommend getting in on this as soon as possible, just because a few of the items do have those in-game timers. You want to make sure you have time for them to mature or expire so you can use them. But I recommend getting into this event. It is so much fun, you guys. I appreciate you for watching. I hope this helped you out. Please remember to like and subscribe for more. I will have a link in the top right to one of my other game guides. Remember, you are freaking awesome.